Hey, what's up? Welcome back. This is the Zim, and this is the Zim video, and this is the Zim's video journal. So many of the Zims, right? It's video journal 143. What's going on? I'll tell you what's going on with me. I got some stuff written down. Hopefully I got everything I want to talk about. I just dropped my car off at the mechanic, and I walked home. It's only like a half-hour walk, and I was thinking of other stuff, but now that I'm home, I forgot all about it, so maybe it'll pop into my brain. I'm not going to worry about it. Jam of the week. We'll start off with Jam of the week. We go into Word on the Street. We go into what's going down in the music world. Alexander Thomas and life stuff is what I have on the agenda today, so let's get started. We're at Jam of the week. I don't have a Jam of the week again. I just haven't been discovering any new music these days, so you got to help me out. What is your jam? What are you listening to? I'd love to hear it. Let me know. Link it up. Post it on the comments. Let's do this. What's your jam of the week? Anything. Could be old, could be new. Just something that you're grooving on. Let me know. I want to find out. Word on the Street. We got Word on the Street. This week was version 120 with Devils Hunt Me Down, and amazing. Great conversation. One of the most interacted with of the podcast so far, like people commenting and sharing. And then on the blog page, so how the podcast works, just a reminder, it's a blogger page. Was WOTSpodcast.com is a blogger page. That's where the link to the URL of the podcast is. The URL actually lives on my server, thezim.com. It lives on there. But then iTunes links up to the blogger page and pulls from my server, so it's like this triangulation thing. But anyways, so there's lots of different ways to get stats for the podcast in a sense, and the Devils Hunt Me Down page views on the blogger account is crushed every other page view so far, by more than double. So that's cool. However, I would like, so it's like 800. I checked this morning, it was like 800 page views, and I would like 800 to be the amount of downloads the podcast gets, but that's not happening yet. It got a good number of downloads, and subscription numbers were up higher, but it still haven't met that 100 download on the day of dropping an episode. That's what I'm shooting for, 100 downloads every Thursday, and then others trickle in here and there, but I want every Thursday to be at least 100 people downloading the podcast and listening to it, which doesn't seem unreasonable considering how many local bands, how many independent artists there are in Seattle, and this conversation is for you as a local independent artist to be aware of ourselves. So, and hopefully more of you will start to engage in the conversation, finding out what else is going on around you, and then you can be a part of it too. There's lots of ways to be a part of it than just being on it. Don't wait to be on the podcast to be a part of this conversation. You can engage through social, through comments, through questions, through lots of different ways, through just supporting your friends' bands, your friends' venues, your friends' things that they're doing by engaging. So check that out. So Devils Hunt Me Down was a great conversation. I really enjoyed it. Those guys are a lot of fun. I like how I'm developing as a host with my questioning. I think I'm doing a pretty good job. I'm really excited about that. This coming up week, well, I can't think of anything else specific about the Devils Hunt Me Down one that come to mind. So that's good for now. This coming up week, obviously 121 with Chris. Oops, I forgot to look up his last name. It's like Etsy, but not Etsy. It's something like that. Chris, a Big Freak Media. You might know him. So check it out. It's coming up this week. So big shout outs to all of you for supporting the podcast. We broke 1,000 likes on Facebook, which I am super stoked on. Last time I checked, we're sitting at 1,001 likes. So it'll fluctuate. It may drop down below 1,000 again because of just how Facebook works with people leaving it and things like that. So just keep on. Now it's like, let's go to 2,000 is the goal now. I'm not, just because we hit 1,000 doesn't mean I'm stopping. It's just another level. Let's keep working on it, you and me together. So share it out with your friends, do that thing. Let's make this happen. Let's bring more awareness to all of your friends and all of your art and culture that you're putting into the scene in Seattle and the Northwest. Let's do it. Let's let the world know what's going on. So we have 1,000 likes plus on the Facebook page, which is great. We have 5 Patreon donors at this point for the podcast, and I forgot to write down the amount that is being generated. It's like $57 or somewhere in that range. We have 3 donors. Well, we had 4 new donors this week that I haven't mentioned about. 2 of them I was able to shout out to on the podcast, which were Ari, a $1 donation. Thanks a lot, Ari. And Ruben, who's my first executive producer level donor, which is a $50 donation. So Ruben, thanks a lot for doing that. It's amazing. Well, they're all amazing. $1 is amazing. It's all amazing. My mom kicked down, which I'll be shouting out again this coming up podcast, because these next two came after I released the last podcast. So my mom is kicking in $15. So thanks a lot, Mom. You're my champion, my angel, my support. That's amazing of you to do that for me. And then an old friend of mine named Rob, who's kicking down $1. So that's awesome. And really, if everybody in the scene, like, one of the things I'm saying is that there's more of us than them when it comes to independent artists, and I think most of us should be able to afford $1 to support the scene, and I'd like it if you were able to kick down $1 toward this process, because it's power in numbers. You know, I don't need, like, Ruben's awesome to kick down $50. It makes all the more happen for the scene and the podcast and everything that's going on. But if power in numbers, if we get enough of us to kick in $1 each, imagine how much more I can promote and I can push out of the underground scene and kind of get out there. And my goal with this, there's a lot of blogs and zines and different outlets for the underground scene, but they don't tend to push it. They don't tend to, like, hustle it. They just make it and let it live and sit. What I'm doing for you is hustling. I'm trying to get more people aware of what you are creating. So even if you haven't been on the podcast, your friends have, or even if you have been on the podcast, you can still support it by becoming a Patreon donor, because it's for you, it's about the scene, and if you want everything to come up, I believe all ships rise with the tide kind of an analogy. So you can make this happen, you can help this, and I'll just be able to push out more, get more awareness what's going on around the scene, and that's what I'm doing. So hopefully you'll get on board. This last week I was able to go, a local artist from Seattle came through San Diego, and I was able to check out the set, and it's Darcy Carlson. So check out this video. Being alone sounds way more fun than being stuck at home with a man. But amen, I believe in love, but I'll be damned if I can find what I think is sicker. And then I took some photos. So tell me what us girls will do. As well, it was at a place called the Oro Mine Co. Here, just outside of San Diego. It's not really. San Diego is close enough. It's like when you say shoreline is Seattle kind of idea. It's just out of ways from the heart of San Diego, and it was awesome to see some Seattle folk. And it was an overcast day that day, so it really felt like I was home for a moment. So that was fun. Yeah, and if you're a Seattle band coming through town, make sure I know, because I found out after the fact that Witch Hunter, I believe is the name of the band, was here as well. I played the Tower Bar, and that's just walking distance from my house. As you know, I went and saw the Sun Giants there, so that is a great, like, underground venue for it kind of caters to the harder stuff. But yeah, check it out. So if you're in a band coming through San Diego, make sure you get a hold of me. I'd love to at least go to your show. I'll shoot some photos. I'll pimp it out, and then at most, I'd love to get you on the podcast as a traveling musician, talking about your journey and that kind of stuff. So let's do this together. It takes us all. It takes a village, right? This is our baby. We're on the Street is our baby. And it takes a village to grow. So let's do it together. So the music front, as I've told you before, I'm My goal is to write, record, and publish one song every month. The January song is done. It's not published yet. I was fortunate enough to get my old high school friend Byron Agerhorn to produce it for me. I sent it off. I sent the track off to him. He produced it up and made it sound just insanely amazing. I've listened to his kind of first, it's not a rough mix, but he sent me a nice mix of it, and I've listened to it like 50 times already in like 3 days. So I'm really stoked on it. It inspired, like, I personally feel like it's the best thing, it's the best recorded representation of my music to date. So I'm really excited for it, which inspired me to reach out to him and go, okay, I want you to produce the entire theZim and Arock album. Let's do this. We already have it recorded, so I want to send him off the tracks, send him off the stems, and see what he can create with what I've done, and see what, maybe we'll need to re-record some stuff, which is totally cool, but what he was able to do with my song is exactly what I want, the intention for the theZim and Arock album, and I'm really excited to start that. So I need to raise money for it, which I'll just be hustling and doing my lifting, which I'll talk about more later. March 19th, I'm coming back to Seattle to play a show. My birthday's on March 14th. March 19th, we don't have a event page yet for the show, which I'm kind of frustrated about, but I'm not, I think there's a bit of a miscommunication about who was making it. So I'm getting on that this week, where the event page is, and I'll get it out to you so you can link up to it. But we got Among Authors on the bill, amazing local band. I mean, I've talked to about him a lot because I've known Ian in the band for, and Jonathan too, but mostly Ian since he moved to Seattle, which is like 7 years ago or something. He was on the podcast, so go back, check out the podcast of their conversation. It was a long one that we did, and so I love that band. You need to know about that band. You need to download their music. You need to be sharing out their content. It's an amazing band. And then we also have Honor Hall on the bill, which the theZim and Arock we got to play with at the Jet a while back. So it's good to link up with them and share a show with them. So this is March 19th at the High Dive. It's my birthday show. This is basically my only birthday party this year. So I want you to be there. I want everybody to be there. I want everybody I know to be at the show. We're on first. The theZim and Arock on first. It's earlier. It was 7:30. We're gonna start the show. 7 o'clock's doors. 7:30. We're gonna start the show. So it shouldn't be too stressful on you. It's a Sunday night. Let's make it happen. Tell your friends. Tell people about it. Let's do this. Let's celebrate my 40th birthday. I'm pretty stoked to be back in Seattle for a little bit. And while I'm back in Seattle, so I'm going to be getting some podcast interviews. And one of the things I did is I'm renting a car because I'm going to be working while I'm there for my old company I worked for. I'm going to be getting podcast interviews. I have rehearsals for the band. And it just felt like renting a car was the best way to make sure all this was able to happen. However, the money part of renting the car is not working out exactly like I hoped. If you have a car a reliable car available and you want to loan it to me for a week, let me know. I'd much appreciate that. Or if you want to help kick down for this one-time rent a car, it's basically $300 to rent a car. I'm doing it through Fox Rentals, which are one of the cheaper ones. But so get a hold of me. There's how to get a hold of me through Facebook, through whatever. Just comment and we'll work it out. We'll find a way to get a hold of each other. If you want to help me with renting this car in terms of money, the greens. So let me know. I'd really appreciate it. You'd basically be donating to We're on the Street, but if you did that, just this one-time donation. I mean, even if it's a little bit, like even if it's just becoming a Patreon donor, that'll help support this. So it's anyway, if you have $1 to put toward renting the car, do it. You can do it through Patreon as a monthly donation or PayPal as a one-time donation. $1, $5, $10, whatever amount you have is awesome. Don't think if you can't do $300 that you can't still support this process and supporting the local scene. So do that. Alexander Thomas, my clutch. that I'm working on. I'm deep in doing about 50 of them that I'm getting just working on, just grinding away, making them happen. I got all my fabrics cut and ready. Half of them are ready to start sewing on. The other half I still have to cut the liner material. So hopefully within like a week and a half, 2 weeks, I'll basically be done. They sew fairly fast. So once I sit down in the sewing machine, I should be able to crank them out and get it done. And today I plan to do a lot of that, because today, as I said earlier, my car's in the mechanics. I don't get it back till like 5 or 6. So I'll just be here. Well, we're working up to life, so we'll throw this on to the last bit of the video journal, which is the life stuff. And I've got my car in the mechanics, so I'm here forced. The universe is telling me to stay home today, work on stuff, and also take a nap. I didn't sleep. I slept terrible last night. I don't know if you can tell. I can tell my pacing of my voice is a little heavy, so when I'm tired I talk this way, so that's kind of part of it. And I slept terrible last night. I didn't hardly slept at all because my gut was feeling weird. But anyways, TMI a little bit maybe. But so I might take a nap right when I'm done this, and then do that. But San Diego update. So the one major thing I discovered in my Lyft driving experience, which I'll talk more about in a second, is I've been driving down toward the beach, Pacific Beach, Ocean Beach, Mission Beach. Every once in a while I have a drop off down there. And it just hit me hard that is the San Diego that I want to be a part of, that I want to live in. The part of San Diego I'm living in now, it's like basically a few miles off the beach. San Diego is any city, really. I mean, there's some cool things about it, like they're really proud of their districts, their little districts, Normal Heights, City Heights, what's it called, North Park, South Park. They have these signage that they put up over all the different areas, and it's really cool. I really enjoy them and stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, there's uniqueness for the city. I'm discovering there's a lot of people seem to be outside a lot. Obviously, it's more sunny, walking around, going to shops and things like that as I'm driving around doing my Lyft thing. Seems to be a pretty good activity of actually people out in the world, which is pretty cool. But really, for all intents and purposes, once you leave the beach and head toward downtown into where I live and beyond, it's like any other city. It's just people living and working and daily lives, and there's tons of people obviously that have been here their whole lives that don't even care about the beach. The beach isn't even a part of their consciousness. They've totally taken it for granted. And I mentioned before, one of the things that I'm going to do now that I live here, or while I'm living here, is not take the beach for granted. I'm going to go once a month to the beach, whether it be going swimming, playing in the sand, just chilling out, going to the boardwalks, doing whatever, just being around that beach lifestyle. So I'm going to do that once a month. But I just know to make me as happy as I could possibly be while living here, I need to be living within walking distance of the beach. So that is a major goal of mine. I mean, obviously you can help make it happen if you support all this stuff I'm doing, but that's my major goal. So wish me luck, basically, because it's obviously more expensive, but that's what I want to do, because it's just different. It's just amazing. It's just really cool. It's just it's what you need to do when you're in San Diego, is be on the beach. So my Lyft driving experience, I made another video. There it is right there. A little shorter than the last one. Just an update on what's going on. I've noticed something I didn't mention on that video is the culture of the Lyft drivers is something that I'm not necessarily all that excited to be deep involved with. I love the job. I think any musician and artist that needs to make more income and wants to work on their own project at the same time, if you're willing to work, if you're willing to put in long hours, if you're willing to hustle, if you're willing to give up some of your free hangout time and just devote most of your time on working your projects or whatever it is, Lyft driving, all that stuff, it's a great thing for you. If you value and you need your hangout time, you need time to not work, then it's probably not a good thing for you, and you can keep on doing what you're doing. But if you want to find a way to do both your art and make money, I think it's pretty much an amazing way to do it. Obviously, the one caveat is you need to have a good car, which is part of my bummer thing, because my car is 2006, which is a good car. I've kept care of it, and it's working out really well for me. I do get anxious that it'll break while I'm driving, but what are you gonna do? Hopefully that won't happen, but I guess, like I said, it's in the mechanics today, just getting a tune-up, getting all that stuff going. And so it's in the mechanics, and I'm gonna get it fixed. So, or not fixed, but just maintained, oil change and all that good stuff. But like I was saying, the culture of the lift driving culture, I do not want to be a part of it, because when I'm on the user groups, or what I see on the user groups, basically there's two things that happen. It's complaining and bragging, and it's just kind of like, that is not a culture that I want to be a part of. Complaining about their passengers, just complaining. And it's like, I feel super fortunate to be able to do this job the way, I mean, it's just, for me, it's a blessing to be able to do this, and I never ever want to fall into a trap of complaining about it. So, and it just bothers me seeing some of the, I've signed up for the user groups because there's some useful information, or if I have questions I can ask the community. So there's three, actually, I remember now, there's three different types of personalities. There's the complainers, there's the braggers, and then there's the mamas. And then what I say about the mamas are the ones that make sure you're doing everything right, and, you know, make sure you, cross your T's and X's and dot your I's, and, you know, it's like, it's just kind of like, okay, you know, great that you're so know everything about this thing. I don't know, it's interesting. Maybe I'm just being a little bit cynical about it all, but that's okay, right? I can be cynical sometimes, but I just like getting out there, driving, and like I said, I made that video about the update about how much I made, the expectation that I'm seeing, and I think it'll work out. But like I said, it's work. It is straight up work. There's no question about it. It's like long ass days. I get up at 6. I get up, basically, I try to get up at 5:30, but, you know, I get up around, I usually turn the app on around 6:30, and I turn the app off basically around 11. I usually take a nap in the middle of the day so I can make it through the whole day. But around 10 o'clock, my body just goes, shoo, you're done. So, and if I could push myself farther, I'd probably leave the app on, do some night driving. But the night crowd is totally, I've noticed progressively, the morning crowd is a lot nicer than the night crowd. The night crowd is just, I don't know, not a fan of the night crowd compared to the morning crowd. And I get really good rides in the morning. The morning gets me a good chunk of my daily, what I make, because the drives are longer, and it's just cool. People going to work, people going to the airport, things like that. So I really enjoy it. If you have questions for me around my Lyft experience, let me know. I'd be happy to share what I know so far, and I don't know if those videos will become a regular thing. I think maybe once a month I might start updating, but I did 2 of them. I did like my initial impressions, and I did like, okay, now that I'm settling into it more, what has changed for me. And maybe I'll do it once a week, but I don't think so. This is more important to me, this video journal, to do once a week than that is. And that does it. Thanks for joining me again on my video journal. This was video journal 143, a little bit longer. I restarted the camera this time, which I don't normally do, but I felt like keep rolling. After this is online, I'm gonna take a nap and I'll get refreshed a little bit. You know, when you don't sleep well, your mouth, the inside of your mouth kind of doesn't heal, and gets that's what's going on with my mouth right now. So I need to heal up my mouth. I don't know if that happens to you, but that happens to me. If I don't get enough sleep, like, my mouth doesn't heal. But anyways, yeah, love to hear from you, so make sure you talk to me. Let me know what's going on. Post some comments.